Well, today has been in the making for quite a while now. It was about 8 months ago or so that I was here last, and well, not the last time I was here, but was here and found the second piece of a cross that I had found one piece previously, and found the second piece and was able to start the journey of putting it back together. I got my little sidekick here with me today. She wasn't feeling too well this morning, so she stayed home from preschool, so this is what she gets to do with me today. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we are going to be reinstalling the cross that I found and have now reconstructed, put back together. You can see it was missing a large portion of it. I think I've got some pictures of it, so I think I did a pretty good job, and I'm excited to see it back on this headstone here that obviously needs to be cleaned. We must have missed this one when we were working here last summer and the summer before. Somehow they got overlooked. So anyways, gonna work on putting this cross back on, and this stone will be back the way that it was supposed to be. I don't see any dates on it. I think it's just a family marker. So, but the penny family plot will be back together like it originally was. Alright, well, we were here a little bit earlier and cleaned off the top of this because it had some lichen growing on it, and we got it prepped for the cross to go back on. I'm going to use the cross previously had been put back on, and somebody used mortar, and the mortar failed and didn't work. So I'm going to use this Acapox 5010 epoxy. This is made by Acapox, or Chemi, a company in Germany. Very good, strong epoxy. And this particular model, the 5010, dries clear, so that's why I'm going to use it. That way, if you know, happens to be just a small amount of it that's visible or something, yeah, you're not feeling very good, are you? Coughing. If there happens to be a small amount of it that ends up being visible, it'll be clear. It won't turn yellow in the sun or anything like that. So, so there's a little hole on the top of this headstone, and there's a little iron pin here. See if I can show you. Yeah, there we go. And that little iron pin sets in that hole.
Yep.
And I'm just going to fill that hole right up with some epoxy.
Yep. Right there.
Yep. I didn't quite mix enough, so I'm going to mix up a little bit more. And I want to have just a little bit extra, so that way I can put a little bit around the outside of the pin too, on the flat surface of that stone. This is 2 parts to 1 part epoxy. Works really well. You can do like a lot of other people do and measure it with 2 plastic spoons. That seems to be a pretty good way of...
A stick.
You found a stick. Good job. There's lots of them around here. But you can use 2 spoons. You know, you mix 1 spoonful of the small one and 2 spoonfuls of the big one. I just like to eyeball it. I haven't had any problems with it failing. It always cures up good and strong. As you can see, I always mix on a piece of wood or a piece of cardboard, and I like to be able to check to make sure that it did set up right. You need to do that whether you use a measuring method or not, because sometimes you'll get a bad batch of epoxy for whatever reason won't set up, and that's just how it goes sometimes.
Wait, what? No.
Now I'm just going to put a little bit on this cross on the bottom around where that pin is.
Yup, you're right. And I'll take your hat, Daddy.
Better not.
I will.
You better not take my hat. And everybody's going to have to see my ugly head. Better not kick the camera over either. Alright, so you kind of get the gist of what I got going on here. If that focuses, you know, that little iron pin's going to stick down in that hole, and then that stuff around that iron pin hopefully will smush out a little bit onto the flat of the headstone.
Yeah.
If I don't fall over backwards, I almost fell over backwards. And
There. Just like that.
just like that. It's got just a little bit of a tendency to lean forward a little bit, so
What are you doing now?
I'm going to make a little wedge.
A wedge? What is a wedge?
So I'm going to just break a stick, and I'm going to
Grass.
wedge it under here just a little bit so it doesn't tip forward. Make sure it looks good. It does. It looks great. Looks straight.
Look at it down.
Looks straight this way. So now this epoxy will take 24 to 48 hours to set up
See about this one.
and cure, maybe even 72. Sometime next week I'll come back and I'll do a little bit of infill around the bottom with some marble mortar to make it a little more uniform, and that headstone is back the way it was supposed to be. It's a little worse for wear as far as that cross being beat up a little bit from rolling around all these years, but
look at that one.
yeah, that one's pretty busted too. Dawson wants everybody to see that one over there too. That one right there, all busted up. The finial on top of that. So anyways, yeah, we'll get that stone cleaned up and treated with some D2 and do the infill around the bottom of the cross and be good to go. You're looking like new again.
Like you like that.
Like that.
Like that.
Awesome.